Everybody, welcome to the PVD Horror Podcast. This is Dave. I'm joined with my co-host Brandon, and we have a bunch of guests here today. We're going to be talking about the upcoming film, Deadly Ending. If you like all things horror and want to get the best horror news, interviews, and reviews,
like, subscribe, and ring that bell to follow us and satisfy all your horror needs.
Joining us, I got Jeff Descoteaux. All right, Descoteaux. Richard Harlost, the director. Jeff's producer. And we got actors Elsie Holt. And returning to the podcast, we got Nick Principe, Rhode Island native. But Jeff, you're not too far away either. You're from Mass originally?
Lowell, Massachusetts, and residing now in New Hampshire, right over the line.
Okay.
There you go. Nice. Keeping that Rhode Island connection strong, the New England connection. Richard, where are you from originally?
Binghamton, New York.
Okay.
Small town on the way. It's kind of like right in between the city and Rochester, Buffalo. It's the hub.
You guys have like a really famous hospital that I think parts of it are abandoned. Binghamton.
Oh yeah. It's the one up on the hill there. It was like originally called like the inebriated asylum or something like that. It's like one of the oldest, for that, and it's supposed to be haunted as hell. Like, they don't really just let anyone go in there either. It's very difficult to try to get in there, but I guess they've had too many people.
Yep. Some security guards making the way around. And LC, thank you for joining us, man. We haven't had you on before, but obviously you are a very familiar face to all of us horror fans, so we appreciate you joining us as well.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
I was just watching one of your films, and Jeff, I think when I posted it, you had chimed in also that you had some producer credit for this, possibly, but time's up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I was dead. So when Jeff said that you'd be joining us, I was like, oh, that's pretty good timing. Just got to check you out in that one. So yeah, very excited to have you here.
Yeah, man, I'm happy to be here.
Go ahead, Brandon. Sorry.
We appreciate you guys coming on, but we got a handful of you guys on the show today. How'd you guys all meet?
Jeff, you want to sound off on how we got introduced, and then everyone else I pretty much
we're gonna 6 degrees of Kevin Jeff making this eventually. I met Rich through a mutual film friend in upstate New York, and
who gets pissed every time you say mutual friend instead of her name. So they want the cred.
Yeah, so this
through Michelle
was
this guy just got caught taking a leak.
I did a film a few years back in upstate New York, and Michelle was a producer on that, and then basically we stayed connected all this time. Michelle shared something on socials that this gentleman here, Rich, was had a script going for an action thriller. It grabbed my attention.
And then I gave him a different script.
And then Rich basically said,
I said, here's a horror script.
Don't read this one, but
don't read this one.
This is the one
Yeah.
So, and then Rich gave me Deadly Endings. I read it. First and foremost, I'm a fan of this industry, a diehard fan. I read these 3 stories, and it just took my mind elsewhere that I've never been before. They're unique in their own different ways. And what I did with this was I brought it to a friend of mine, a producer and actor on this project that LC knows, and that also I didn't know at the time that worked with Rich, Daniel John Kearney, and he read it himself, and same thing. He just was mind blown the way that it was written. It was beautiful, and in their own different ways, each stories. And
originally Dan was approached for one of the roles of Deadly Endings, and then he was going to basically be like a consultant and kind of have a limited capacity as a producer, but then he couldn't get it out of his head, and he just saw the potential in it, and then he came in full throttle. He's like, you know what, guys, I have to come in as a producer. I can't, like, this is going to blow up. This is going to be huge. So I really appreciate his belief and everything. And Jeff since then has kind of acted like my Girl Scout, going and selling my cookies. So he definitely ran around to many of the actors, that he knew and stuff, and was very crucial in, helping to pull this together.
I'm like the fun uncle of the. It's Rich's baby, but I'm the funkle. I'd like to say.
The Funko.
The Uncle Jesse of the project. There you go.
Yeah, pretty much. No, he's more the Mary Kate Ashley Olsen.
I'll allow it.
Oh, you got it, dude. Hey, so can we name some of the actors that are connected to this project? Is that okay to do?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
there's 3 of them on here right now. So
Yeah.
So for the, we'll get the obvious ones out of there. So we got Elsie Holt, got Nick Principe, we got Jeff Descoteaux, right? We have Felissa Rose, who is a horror icon. We have Cheney Moreau, Chanda Rawlings. I'm trying to think like off the top of my head, it's almost like just rattling off. We also have Mark Patton, from Nightmare on Elm Street. The list goes on. It's kind of like anybody and everybody that's been doing like the horror circuit for the last few years is like attached. We just wanted to really blow it up.
Now,
and if it when
Hannah
people
Fierman
watch this,
as well.
just because I didn't
Yeah.
mention your name, it's not Romper Room. You know what I mean? So I apologize to those, but there is like about 30 actors and stuff, so it's going to be hard to list them all.
It's pretty impressive, the list. And then is this like, Jeff, is this kind of your doing? Like you talked about kind of getting actors connected that you had already some relationships with.
Definitely,
are you responsible for a lot of that?
It's at the end of the day, it's a team effort, it's a group effort, but
He's being humble.
It was definitely discussed like amongst the producers that we didn't want to slack and have people that can't hold their own weight. We wanted to go with really skilled actors. We wanted people that have a name and a presence in the horror community, whether it's through social media or going to the horror cons and stuff. And we just wanted like a really good quality on it, like when everyone started believing in the project and seeing the potential that it had, we didn't want to settle, for just kind of gluing it together. We really wanted a good sound structure.
So Nick and Elsie, what made you guys want to do this project?
Well, I really like the script.
Yeah.
I think Jeff or maybe Dan Kearney or Jeff sent me the script. I think can't remember which. Maybe Dan did.
I think it was Dan.
Yeah, yep. Dan did, and I just thought it was a really cool script. And I like anthologies. I've been a part of one anthology before, which was the VHS series.
Yes,
I was in the second VHS movie, and but I love anthologies. I always grew up watching them. Especially the I believe they were all in the 70s, but it was, Christopher Lee, there's, the Tales from the Crypt movie and the original, I'm talking serious.
Yeah, those were good.
Yeah. Yeah. And they had a whole series of those anthologies like that. And, I like that form. So, yeah. And it's a fun character because this is a kind of character. I'm a, bad guy, which isn't surprising, but the kind of bad guy I am is the first time I'm doing that.
Nice.
So
that's nice. So we got all you guys working on this project. What got you guys into like being producers and actors and directors? What inspired you guys to get into filmmaking?
Ooh, man, that's a long story.
They can edit it.
I don't know, Rich. What do you think?
Well, me personally, I think it's not so much like the scare factor of things. Like I kind of grew up watching like Twilight Zone, so it was very kind of like a wow, what if that happened? I loved Tales from the Crypt, the HBO show there and everything like that. So and that had a lot of horror in it. So I just think that like in the horror aspect, there was certain horror movies that I watched as a kid that scared the shit out of me and literally like made it so that I couldn't sleep or just certain things like Nightmare on Elm Street fucked up my sleeping for like years. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't go to sleep, but like so to have that power, I mean, it's not like an action movie would come out and then I'd think I could go kick everyone's ass, but like a horror movie comes out and for it to screw up your life, is just very powerful.
Yeah.
So like I always wanted to kind of do something, with like a thinking man's horror, bring more to it than the prototypical monster and stuff like that. So I think just where I could go with it was like something that was just it really stuck with me, and that's why I enjoy horror now and also like writing it and seeing how I can develop something a little bit different than the usual mold of how the monsters or something was portrayed.
Yeah, it's that's it's funny you mentioned Nightmare on Elm Street because when I was young kid and stuff, I used to wish that was real. Like it'd be kind of be cool, like if you could. I mean, it wouldn't be cool to be killed in your dreams, but
right,
so much more interesting than like boring life, And I think growing up when you were, we want to be a writer or an actor or whatever, there's that side of you that kind of wishes that you could live in escapism. And maybe that's why you want to be a writer or an actor,
Yeah,
or maybe you just want to die in your dreams. I don't know.
Yeah. And Jeff, how about you?
I got started. I only got started. I've only been doing this for, I want to say, since I did my first help produce LC's first movie in Time's Up, and I heard of Time's Up through some other actors involved in the project that it was being filmed up in Maine, so that really sparked my interest. It was only about a 90-minute ride for me, and and the premise of LC's film, it really was a nice, just well done, like New Year's Eve slasher. Who doesn't like that? And it was really I was supposed to have a very small part in it, but at the time I ended up getting COVID. I couldn't fulfill the role, but in the end, I mean, it's still helping produce that film, meeting some friends and new friends. It opened up some doors for some other projects, and I was Elsie and I have been attached to numerous films. It's especially his latest venture, Watchdog, which should be coming out, I think shortly. I would just but I've been and then I've been connected with Rich here, which you blessed, and then I we'll get into Nick and myself. I met Nick actually 10 years ago, and we met at a wrestling show. I'm a big wrestling fan, and we met at a wrestling show in Lowell, Massachusetts. Nick was down there doing a film at the time in Rhode Island with Tommy Dreamer.
Okay.
We stayed in touch ever since. And when it came time to putting, Deadly Endings together, it was like, well, who can we reach out to? Who can we talk to? And, this friend of mine here, Nick, I just, we had a character in mind. Well, Rich drew up a character, and he said, Nick would be perfect for this said character. And I asked Nick to read the script, and he loved it, and we're all here today.
Nice.
Just want to say, I've known Tommy Drew for 15 years. He still doesn't follow me on Twitter. Very frustrating. We're going to have a talk, possibly with kendo sticks next time I see him. Throwing that out there.
Yeah.
As far as like Jeffy, he cites that incident as like the first time, but I think like I kind of knew him like through Tom and like some like other like convention kind of stuff as just like an acquaintance or whatever. But that was the first time he actually like came up, introduced himself and talked, and then just kind of stayed in touch. And for me, being the jaded, bitter prick that I am, at age 45 and doing this for almost, closer to 20 years than not, I really just want to work with people I like. And Jeff is like I'm not going to say green, but he's like new to the industry. And people new to the industry just have this excitement and this light inside of them that most people don't, because whether it's, everybody starts out very passionate, but this industry just grinds you. It fucking grinds you into the ground. So Jeff coming around and just being so excited, so exuberant, so happy to do this.
It makes you want to choke him, though. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
It's like,
Wait, get me on
it's
set.
inspiring. It's inspiring because I live like about 3 hours away from Hollywood. I don't audition very much anymore unless it's like really big stuff. I'm very content. Like I don't like need to work. So I'm at a point where I can kind of just do what I want, and this project absolutely checks my boxes. Like it's just stating the obvious, I'm colossal horror fan forever, but my second favorite genre is crime. Love crime film. And that was my attraction. It's a mix. It's the mix of crime and horror. And with my own projects, that's the goal that I shoot for. Is I like to make crime films that have a horror overtone, like something that has like the feel of a slasher movie, but instead of knives, it's guns, or something to that effect, if I can say it. But with my segment, it's awesome. I get to play like, I don't know. I guess I would describe him as like, like this new wave of like cracker hip hop, where it's like just super white trash dudes, like dude, like that Jelly Roll Cat, or like Uncle Cracker and like Kid Rock and that kind of shit. That's the kind of guy I picture that I'm going to be playing. I'm really excited about that.
I want to see you looking like Jelly Roll for sure.
Oh, dude, I will never put on that much weight. That would be a really expensive.
It's interesting that Nick describes the character that way, but I can't disagree. Like, I think he's right on that.
Pretty accurate.
Yeah, he's been doing his homework.
I got a vibe for it, Like I just picture it like he's wearing a wife beater. He's got a big fat gold chain. He's wearing like dope Nikes, but then like leather pants, or just something like super trashy and stuff. Like just like he thinks he's royalty in exile, basically.
Can't wait to see this.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. To my knowledge, we're already pretty much funded. But we are gonna do a little kickstarting, a little Indiegogo in March 1st. So keep your eyes out for that. The beauty about like the whole crowdfunding thing and all that is, I think it allows the fan to be involved. Whatever kind of donation you make, it's an investment, and who doesn't want to see their name in the credits? Yeah. It's just a cool opportunity, and it's just interesting that we live in a time like this where it's just readily available.
Yeah, people love perks, that's for sure. The better the perks, or just like you said, the more involved the perk makes you, the more people seem to want that perk. So absolutely, definitely like a really hot route to go right now.
I mean, I don't know if you're like in the Midwest somewhere, and I don't know, just about every state is like picked up as far as like production wise and stuff. But if you just want to be involved in the film industry and somehow you really don't know how, fucking drop $50. You are now involved in the industry. You're now a contributor.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like Dave said, people love perks. Do you guys have like a list lined up, or like any like options that you guys think that are going to stand out for some of the fans that they'll enjoy being a part of?
Yeah, we do have a list. Actually, we've been discussing that like in the last few days. So we're going over that. Win a date with Jeff Descoteaux is one that he's been pushing, for the ladies.
Win a date.
For $5,
no, that's not a real
$5.
Maybe we'll put it limited to one person. But yeah, like we have like some ideas. We gotta kind of bounce them back and forth. We want to strengthen them, make them really stand out. I was open like for anything. I mean, I'm like, dude, if I gotta sign something, if I gotta
Yeah.
you know, whatever. Like if they want to come over and pet my cat, that can be a perk. Like it don't even matter. So I'm like really, really open with it. Yeah, and that list, I think we're actually working on that like this week. Like we're setting up a time this week to solidify that, and that should be out shortly. I know we have somebody that's working on the art and graphics of the campaign, so that it really stands out as well.
That's cool.
Yeah, March 1st, we plan on dropping the Indiegogo campaign, and we want to get. This is really just this film is not only is it very I can say special effects heavy, but it's very character driven, and it's in these 3 stories in the short amount of time. The character development is just, I feel, it's unreal. Like you're able to, and it challenges these human beings mentally in each story. But we're hoping we really achieve some indie horror greatness here, but just reading these stories, and there's only so much that we can talk about right now. But I think Richard said before, we don't want to half-ass anything. We don't want to shorten anybody. We want to deliver, and that's why we feel like we want to give the best crowdfunder that we can. Get some really good perks out there. Get the fan base involved in any which way, whether it be a social media shout out, a special thanks in the ending credits, even like a producer credit. Whatever it may be, maybe get some screen use props. It's just like we're in the lab right now trying to see, just to make this the best campaign we can, so we can deliver you the best horror anthology that we can.
Nice. Now you guys are set to film this summer, right? And I think you said you're going to be filming in Connecticut.
Yep, in June, the beginning of June, New Haven, southern Connecticut area. Yep.
Nice. Do you guys already have like the locations all set and all that stuff?
Yeah. The other producer, Daniel John Kearney, did I say that right? Kearney. He's handling that. He got a lot of them solidified. People were excited, to even just like provide like the location. So that went very smoothly.
Yeah. Awesome. Elsie, I want to ask you, so there's a lot of like names attached to this film that are, people that we've seen in some pretty significant horror films or have been, in quite a bit of them. Are you working with any of these actors for the first time? Like, I know you already worked with Felissa and Hannah.
Cheney, and I worked with Cheney. I worked with Wes. I directed Mark Patton and Watchdog. Let's see. Well, pretty much that's probably everyone I've worked with.
Yeah, I'm like the only one that nobody's worked with before. Sure. A lot of them have worked with each other. They might overpower me and just take over the whole operation. Is
there feel like some pressure there because everybody is so familiar with each other and all that?
No, like I don't think so. Like pressure, like in that sense. I mean, there's a level of excitement that I have for it, but it's a relief, if anything, that they're all going to be. They know each other. They know their nuances. They've played off each other before as different characters. So the fact that they're going to be more comfortable probably makes it easier for myself.
Absolutely, yeah.
Except Nick, because I think he's going to stay in character even in between takes, which is going to be a problem.
I don't act. People just hire me to be me. That's just how it works, man.
Yeah, he's just going to show up as that guy.
I just do I don't know. Nobody calls me to play the dad. I'm a dad too, but hey, whatever. It's cool.
That's
no
fine.
Big deal.
Whatever.
It's all right. I'd rather see you as a rapper anyway, with that style, something different.
Oh man, yeah, it'll be silly. Play a fucking cartoon character.
Nick will still be firing off rounds after Rich yells cut. So
yeah. You gotta like pen me in. I must be chained. Once I'm started, it's hard to shut down.
Well, you're a method actor, right? You stay in character for the entire time.
Well, I mean, look, the term method's been getting a lot of shit lately. And it's like, I mean, it really just kind of comes down to like the voice. If you're doing an accent or like just something like that, I'll just talk like that. But it's not like if I was doing a movie that took place in the 1800s and I saw somebody on a cell phone, I'd be like, "What is this contraption?" Like, "Rah." You know, I mean, I still would have like the same kind of conversations that you would, but just with the accent, you know, or just however the character talks, you know. I think that's good, you know, because you can see a lot of uneven performances, I think, when you deal with accents. That's hard to just turn on and off all the time, you know. I stay in character to the DVD commentary.
So Nick, I wanted to ask you a question. You mentioned that you don't really audition that much lately. I've talked to you, you know, here and there, and I know you've been up to some stuff though. What have you been doing other than taking on these roles?
Yeah, well, you know, as we know, the strike was being bent over the barrel for 5 months. Really frustrated about that. We went on strike to obtain residuals from streaming. We went on strike to obtain AI regulations. In my opinion, neither one of those things were remotely addressed. We still have 0 streaming residuals. AI right now, the way it's kind of left off is you need to let your agent deal with it. And if you don't have a great representation, well, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Because as of right now, the way it goes is when you sign a deal memo, they can digitally put you in the sequel of a film without your consent, without anything. And that's
won't do
okay
that to
with
you, Nick.
folks.
Just so you know.
Oh, yeah.
You're my guy, man.
Right
I'm not
on.
going to do that.
Appreciate it. Appreciate
I'm going to AI
Such-
myself as a director. I won't be there for the sequel.
Such security. So I mean, we were going on with that. So 5 months of no job, not being able to collect unemployment, made me take up Muay Thai. So I started fighting Muay Thai to just fucking get out of the frustrations of it. So that's where all my focus has been like the past 6 months. I am 7-0 amateur fights. Thank you.
Congratulations, Nick.
Nice,
But
nice.
Thank you. I had 4 projects that were ready to go in the summer. They were all canceled except for one, which shoots at the end of this month. I'm really stoked about. It ended up working out because I was cast in a smaller role, and then there was a bit of a regime change with the production. So I got to do an audition again for a much bigger part, and I beat out like something like 15 other like name actors for this part, and I'm just as surprised as anyone else. But it's gonna be fucking awesome. That's the only thing I had going. During the strike, I did one non-union project for Jason Tross. He's the young man responsible for the FP films. He did a 8-bit side-scrolling film, which, to my knowledge, I don't think anybody's ever done a side-scrolling movie before.
I'm aware
like
of
the
this,
video games.
Yeah, it looks something
Yeah,
definitely.
it's called The Waves of Madness. It was a non-union project, so it was under the grace of the SAG units, whatever. So that was the only thing I've done in 2023. That's the only movie I shot. But at the end of the month, we're going to Biloxi, Mississippi. The movie's called Play Dirty. It's very much like a Bad Lieutenant kind of thing, where Theo Rossi is the lead. And it's kind of funny because Ron Perlman's in it, Kim Coates, and Theo Rossi. So we got like the heavy hitters from Sons of Anarchy, and I'm the only one playing a biker. So kind of interesting, kind of cool, kind of weird. Really fucking stoked for this because like I think I have like 4 scenes and every single one of them is with one of those guys. So really, really excited. It's a good way to start 2024, and it's a great movie. To find like, just after all this time off, it's just frustrating. You just question everything. So it's just great that things are just going. The holidays are over because this is like, it's a classic time in Hollywood for things to go to a grinding halt. But things are picking up. good vibes in the air, man. There's a lot of good vibes in the air.
Awesome, man. Good for you. So, Elsie, I'll ask you like the same question. I mean, I always see your name attached to a ton of projects. I was actually looking, and I noticed that one of the projects you're attached to it, you played the Phantom in what's it called? Phantom
Fun World.
Phantom Fun World,
Okay.
which another connection to Rhode Island. One of the executive producers is a buddy of ours, Chuck Reeves. So
Oh yeah, I remember that. I killed Chuck in that movie.
nice. But like I said, your name's always attached to a ton of projects. I mean, but that doesn't mean they all were necessarily recent. So have you been pretty busy over the past year?
Well, sort of. I mean, yes and no. It's been probably a slower year this year than the one before it. But I did a lot of stuff the year before that hasn't come out yet. And they're slowly starting to roll out. Like The Woodsman came out, Phantom Fun World came out. A movie called Butcher's Bluff I did a long time ago is hopefully going to come out soon. And then there's this movie Go Away, which hasn't come out yet. Late Checkout hasn't come out yet, but I think it's getting close to. But you know how these things go. You make the movie, and then like a year and another year goes by, and then one comes out, and then another one comes out, and then it just sort of rolls out, at its own pace. So I don't, you don't really know until it comes out when it's coming out. Because nobody tells me anything. I don't. Just whenever it comes out, and I'll talk about it.
That late Checkout, I feel like I was aware of that film 2 years ago, possibly, and I've been waiting for it to hear more updates about it. So I'm excited for when that finally comes out.
Well, Late Checkout was one of the more recent ones I did, and I think it's going to come out relatively soon because I've already seen the final cut of it. Like the director sent me the screener of it, which sometimes people will do and sometimes they won't. But I did see that one, and I think it's pretty much done. I mean, I think they have the sound mix, everything on it. I'm pretty sure. So I don't think that one will be too long.
Okay.
Late Checkout. Yeah,
very cool.
That has a good cast.
I gotta interrupt real quick. I'm sorry. I gotta go back inside Walmart, and I've been like trying to coddle a 3-year-old this whole time. I'm gonna skate off because I know the second I walk in that door, I'm gonna lose service.
All right,
just Dave, thank you so much for having us, man. You seriously, you're a saint. I fucking love you guys. You know that. Jeff, Rich, I'm sure I'll talk to you before then.
Yes,
I'll see you in June.
Love you, my dude.
To all you awesome people out there, please get involved. Get in on it. I hope this little display, whatever you want to call it, just shows that the people behind this are fans first, then filmmakers. We're trying to make something that I think everybody's going to enjoy. There's no political agenda. It's just fun. We're going to have fun. That's what we're going to do. We're going to make a fun fucking horror movie anthology to entertain you, make you think a little bit, and just have some fun. That's what we're shooting for. Thank you so much for giving a shit. I sincerely, to every fan out there, thank you so much. I am fucking nothing without you guys. Thank you so much. Happy New Year. I'll talk to you guys
later, Nick.
as soon as
Thanks,
possible.
brother.
Thank you,
All right, Nick. Take it easy.
Nick.
There it is.
You got that kiss. At least you got that kiss in there,
Yeah.
That could be a perk right there. Get a kiss from Nick.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think he just made
that thing's
like
going to be a gift pretty soon.
Yeah, that's I
just
feel
take
like
that whole
that's-
segment right there. That's your video for the Indiegogo. That's the intro video right there. That was
100%.
classic. Hey, Elsie, I just want to ask you one more question about your previous projects. I know that's not what you're here to talk about, but you were in a very, very popular film, You're Next. And I'm a fan of we had AJ Bowen on the show previously, and he's hilarious. I've always been a fan of his. But there's so many people within that project that I am fans of their individual work. I'm like Joe Swanberg. There's just a ton of them. Are you still connected to a lot of those that I kind of think of them almost as a family, because I know a lot of them kind of did projects together. But I'll let you answer the question before I keep rambling.
Well, I keep in touch. I see Sharni every so often. Sharni played Erin. She was a star. I've been friends with the director of that movie, and I have worked together and have known each other since he was 19, Adam Wingard. So we've known each other for a long time. And then Simon Barrett, who I met on that movie, who was the writer and the producer, and then later he directed me. The segment of VHS2 was he directed that. Simon did, the one I was in. So, I mean, those are the guys, really, Adam, Simon, and occasionally I'll see Sharni. Those are the ones that I have, kept up with. But like I say, I've known Adam since we were young. So,
that's cool.
It's easier to keep up with him because it wasn't just purely a professional.
Sure. And Ty West was also in that film. Like there were so many.
That's
like,
right. I shot Ty West in the head that night. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I shot him with that arrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ty West and I are unusual because we look almost exactly the same. So we could just trade out at some point, which I'm more than happy to do if he'd like to.
Yeah. I sure you would trade for his previous year. That it was pretty big last year.
Yeah.
So earlier, Rich, you talked about how Nightmare on Elm Street changed your life. Jeff, I had noticed that there was a film that changed your life. Because you have so much going on with your family. You have a business going on with them right now, but they got you into horror. Can you talk about that story? Like it was a film that got you.
Back in the old day, in the 80s, when we had VHS players, my mom and dad decided to rent a movie called Poltergeist.
Yeah.
They brought it home for a fun family night of just movie watching. And I think at the time, I don't know, I mean, I don't want to show my age, but I think I was definitely single digits while watching it. And I mean, it was the official gateway horror film for me. It scared the fucking shit out of me. It made me just afraid of clowns and just even
to this day.
To this day, yeah. Even the scene when he's in the bathroom and the guy's in the mirror and he's pulling away at his skin and then just gouging away. Like as a child, like watching that, it's like I've got the blanket over me concealing, but I'm also at the same time fucking intrigued. So that just opened up so many things for me horror wise. One of my
if you heard that sound, that was my phone going off. I apologize.
There you go.
Stuff like that. I mean, it's not as scary, but like the Monster Squad and then like The Gate with Steven Dorff, like stuff like that. Just like, it's I've been a fan ever since. And I mean, it really elevated me to watch, obviously, scarier stuff, more over the top stuff. Again, like, seeing, watching Your Next for the first time, seeing this guy right here, like just being a fucking maniacal, motherfucker in a landmass, just like.
I mean, the one thing is like Your Next, at least that was R. I mean, Poltergeist was rated PG.
I know, which you wouldn't think
it tricked.
It was.
It tricked a lot of people.
Yeah. Because I mean, you get that for family night, and you're going to put it in thinking you're going to watch a PG movie, and all the children are terrified.
I watched it also when I was in my single digits, and I'm like, it was, I don't think, appropriate for my age. I'll say that.
Yeah,
it's the only movie where I actually threw up watching it, and I remember throwing up in everyone's popcorn bowl.
Oh man,
yeah, like and I'll tell you, it was the skeleton scene in the pool.
Oh, okay.
And I think it was around that time that movie, and people always credit Temple of Doom for bringing about PG-13, but I think there was a series of movies, and I believe Poltergeist was one of them, and most of them had been directed by Steven Spielberg. So he was one sneaking in all this fucking scary shit for children.
It's true.
And because even if you watch Raiders of the Lost Ark, I mean, there's some shit in that scared me when I was a kid when I first watched it. When those monsters or those beautiful people come out and then they turn into monsters and the guy's fucking face melts off and the other dude's head explodes. I mean, when I was a child, that was scary shit.
Yeah.
It's pretty scary shit.
Yeah.
And you think about some of those things you watch when you're younger, and you go, yeah, this was kind of scary, wasn't it? I remember when Batman Returns came out, and everyone was so terrified. They were like, you remember they on the TV shows, the parents were going, "This is too frightening for children. Batman setting people on fire." And you watch movies now, and it's like, oh, that shit's nothing. You know, you watch, but then I watched it again recently, and I was like, yeah, okay, Batman Returns, it has some kind of edgy shit in there. You
Yeah,
know,
it's kind of dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
DeVito biting a man's nose off.
he's drooling black bile, and he's biting people's noses off, and being like not even remotely subtle with the sexual innuendos. You know, I'd like to fill her void. You know, all that. You go, yeah. Like in hindsight, that's maybe a little much for a small child. But I mean, I'll be honest with you. When I watched that in the theater, I was, you know, probably 12 or 13, and it didn't bother me.
Yeah, it went right over
really.
my head.
Yeah.
I did the same. Yeah. They,
Yeah,
it's the practical effects add another layer to it too, because I feel like it looked so much more real, but it was also way more gruesome. And you watch like Gateway Horror now with more of like the computer effects, I don't feel like it has the same impact. I feel like there's this with practical effects, it almost feels more realistic. And with like the computer effects and CGI stuff, there's like this layer of like disbelief that you have when you're looking at those kind of things.
Yeah.
Practical effects are just so
well. That's the
effective.
great thing about doing genre films like this at this level. You know, is you have to do practical effects basically. I mean, I've been in a couple movies that were, you know, of a lower budget that had some digital things in there. One of the movies I directed has a couple digital shots in there, but yeah, no, I mean, you get if you want practical effects, movies like, you know, this one, Deadly Endings, and you know, any of the ones Jeff was talking about before, you're going to get practical. I think that's safe to say, you know.
Yeah.
And there is something there's something really cool about that, because I don't know how many of these like little reviews and stuff I've read where people are like, "Oh my God, thank God for the practical effects," and people love that.
Yeah.
And though, you know, the CGI effects aren't as bad as they used to be. Like, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. The blood in that looks like, I don't even know what the fuck that CGI blood looked like. But you know, it's nice to if something can be physical, why not? You know, CGI I think works better for stuff that just doesn't exist, like an Avatar. You know, like a blue guy, big tall blue guy, or what.
And this is very, very heavy with the effect, the practical. Like it's almost all throughout. Like you're going to have a hard time probably going a couple minutes until you see, you know, some practical effects. I mean, and that's been the general consensus every time, you know, like we have a meeting, they're like, this is so heavy, you know, on the effects, like, you know, so just like making sure that we, you know, have, you know, a real good team involved that's going to deliver. I mean, we know that the movie, not as well, like the writing is definitely like a part, the acting is a part and stuff, but we knew it was going to hinge a lot on the effects to convey the realism, and stuff like that. We don't want to make it look like it's a video game, you know, so we're not looking at like, you know, CGI this or that, you know, and it's pretty much like we know what it's going to rely on, you know, like we want the audience to see it and have that realism. So
have you guys already like is it already set who's working on the FX?
We have we're down to 3 like right now in their names in the industry, and it just really boils down to like the style, and you know, they're all very capable, you know, but it's just like, who are we going to mesh, you know, the best with, you know, and be able to deliver.
Awesome.
Yeah, and you have to find it. I mean, you have to find that sort of like a cinematographer when you're directing. You got to find the effects guy that you, like Rich said, that you mesh with, because special effects people and cinematographers can be two of the most tightly wound people you ever meet. You know,
are they? They're probably perfectionists, I would imagine, right?
Oh, they are perfectionists, but a lot of them don't. Some of them don't deal with pressure very well, and next thing you know, you're like, you know, the guy's going his ape shit over there,
Yeah,
it's
and the
affecting
thing
work.
is like I've dealt with it where you're ready for a shot, but they're not ready, with their makeup or whatever they're doing, and although you see it and you're like, okay, it looks like it's ready to me, it may not be to them, but the thing is like when you're filming it, when you're doing different angles and everything, it comes out a certain way, and I think what may look a little less than appealing, like to the naked eye, is going to look immaculate, once we go and edit this, and the lighting is, corrected and the edit and everything. But yeah, like anytime that I've dealt with somebody that's doing the practical effects, it's like they're, they're like nervously, touching stuff up and just, but I think in a way we're all, perfectionists, like in this, like, we want to make sure that we deliver the best, performance or direction or practical effects.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to have pride in your work, and I'm glad that I found, at least for me, I found a like effects guy that's really good and that I get along with, mesh with, because on all these things, it's all about meshing. Because you really don't want to, you never get paid enough to have just a horrible time. You know what I mean? I mean, if you can't have a fairly good time, unless you're going to give me some like your next money or something like that, it's like you should at least have mesh with people and have a good time.
That's a great point. If you're not going to get paid like phenomenal amount of money, you should at least have fun while you're doing it, right?
Phenomenal, and that can be, one person's phenomenal is another person's fortune, sort of, it's like fine, but yeah, but you should have, because I've done movies where it was misery, just absolute misery, and you just sit there and you go, why the fuck am I doing this with my life? Like, what am I doing here? Being a greeter at Walmart it's just a good meat and potatoes job, and I like it. And that's true, by the way. That's a good
dying
job.
trade, though. I don't see the greeters as much as I used to. I don't know.
And I don't have quite enough gray yet, because they generally like to put the older there. But I always also tell people, like, if you want a job, don't worry about being a filmmaker or being an actor. Go be a roofer in Texas in the summer. That's a fucking job. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's work.
Or a florist on Valentine's Day.
A florist on Valentine's Day. And Jeff knows all about it.
Jeff with the shameless self-plug.
That's a day where I could use a fucking greeter at my door. Let me tell you.
That's like that's my next career move, actually. I'm going to be the greeter at Jeff's floral shop. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Jeff, so you already had some on-screen time with actors like Kane Hodder. How has that, helped your career, moving forward as an actor?
So there was a film. I'm glad you brought that up. So the first project that I did as an actor was the first time I met Felissa Rose. And I was actually a producer on one of Felissa's projects that I acted on, called Dark Circles, that should be coming out pretty soon. But I went up to her first day on set. I introduced to her who I was. I said, hi, my name's Jeff Descoteaux. And it's just sweetest. I can't say enough good things about Felissa. She's like the sister I never had. And she just was so kind to me on set. But I got to meet Kane also on set. And again, just I mean, I'm a Friday the 13th guy. And Kane is, I don't want to ruffle anybody's feathers here, but Kane is my Jason. And I won't accept anybody else. And I got to meet Kane and Felissa and guys, Dave Sheridan, who Dave and I have been in touch ever since. And it just, that one, I was on set for 2 days. Those 2 days that I was there, the people that I met, the networking, it opened doors for me for opportunities. And, I was able to work with LC here and help produce a few of his films here. I was actually, shameless plug, I was in Phantom Fun World, Don't Blink, for like for 2 seconds. But it's in some of Elsie's other projects, the Woodsman and Late Checkout, we have some actors and actresses that are going to be in Deadly Endings that were a part of those projects as well, like Anna Clary and Mouse Cravensworth. So we really got a good group of people here, a good squad that we feel are going to deliver something pretty over the top. And there's no half-assery here. We got some quality actors and actresses here that are going to, we feel we put them in the best roles to deliver. And we're all excited. And, but we can't wait to get started,
I gotta ask you, so just to elaborate on one thing. So the tagline for the film is 3 grisly tales set upon the human condition. I should say, like, that's the plot synopsis, I guess.
Right.
Can we get any more detail, or is that all we're gonna get?
No. I can give more detail. Like, and in all 3 of the look at Elsie's like, yeah, I'd like to hear it because I don't know what It's like,
yeah, tell me, Rich. What is this, Rich?
I mean, please shine some light on it. Yeah, like it's basically where the 3 tales. I'll give you some. Hey, you're doing the podcast. I'm gonna fill you in a little bit.
Yeah.
So like each story, one story actually has a demon in it. The other story has a vampire in it, and the third story has a zombie. Not necessarily in that order. So like we kind of hit from a little bit variation of what people depending on their flavor. And there is interplay involved with maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 of them, where these things are considered monsters, but then you get to see kind of the human condition of like the humans, where it almost could appear, whereas the human is the real monster. With the way they treat or deal with the situation or try to exploit. So that's what that means, is that it's really kind of set against itself in a way and kind of flipped on its end.
Nice. Okay.
Cool.
That's good. I mean, I'll give it to you. The synopsis is like intriguing. I was just like really curious when it said that it's set upon the human condition. So I'm glad you elaborated on that. And I agree with what Elsie said earlier. Like, anthologies are always fun for me. Like I love digging into a good anthology. So this definitely sounds like a project that I think is going to capture the attention of a lot of our viewers. So
yeah. And another thing,
I like really good brief synopses like that too. It's like if you've ever seen the David Lynch movie Inland Empire, synopsis, the whole movie synopsis is a woman in trouble.
It's
like,
not wrong.
David Lynch is like, what's this movie?
Of course, put that.
It's also it's like David Lynch as well, so he's going to be a little mysterious, but it's like he's just let people like, what's the movie about? I think it's about a woman in trouble. That's all you get.
That was a good impersonation.
I think just to interject real quick, one of our main goals here with this film here is that I feel I know I'm, again, as a fan, like every time you're sniffing October and October's coming around, you always want to play your faves that you have in a rotation during Halloween and whatnot. And it's like, it's spooky season and whatnot. We are set out to make sure we want Deadly Endings to be in your rotation.
Okay.
That's the goal here. But I mean, not just for Halloween, but like we feel like that these 3 stories, the way that this is going to be directed, with our cast, with our crew, we want to be in your rotation. We like every year, get your Blu-ray out, get your, or find us on streaming, and then we want you to watch Deadly Endings. We feel like this, we got something good here, and I'm ready.
Yeah.
Maybe it might be the coffee talking, but I'm ready.
It's the coffee. It's the coffee.
There's one thing that definitely stands out to me so far, like just the artwork, for the promos and everything like that. Can you guys talk about the artist that kind of put that together?
Man, I wish Dan was here because he always remembers the guy's name like
Okay.
correctly. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Jeff.
it's on the tip of my tongue. But one thing too,
Puis. His name's Puis.
Okay.
I'll mess up the last name, but he's from South America, and he worked on something else that Dan did. I can't be sure, but he referred me. He's a comic book artist. He has some of his own comics out. I want to say it's like Alcada or something like that, but the Puis, Puis.
yeah,
Is his name. Probably find something if you just Google that and then cartoon artist or
obviously,
comic book artist. I'm sorry.
yeah, we don't.
But he just did amazing work. I gave him pretty much like the template and as well as some photos of LC and some various other cast members, and so he actually kind of worked off of their likeness, for the poster.
Okay. Yeah, definitely, because that's one thing that always stands out too. That can be a perk too, having that drawing or something, because a lot of fans love
Yeah,
having
we
posters and
definitely
autographs and
are
stuff
gonna
like
have
that.
that out as a
Yeah.
poster or something. I mean, I love the artwork. Like what he did was amazing.
Yeah.
And just to kind of piggyback off of what Rich said, we can't really go into details too much about the movie. We want to leave you guys on the edge of your seat, making you keep thinking, what are these three stories really about? But I will say this: look at the poster, study it if you want. Gives a little bit of an idea. Look for these certain things, and all the details of the poster are going to be involved in this film. And that's
Okay.
Jeff makes it
Right.
sound like it's Illuminati. Like if you fold the poster a certain way, you'll know
it's like,
the
where's
endings.
Waldo? It's like,
I smell Easter eggs. I smell Easter
Right,
eggs.
right.
Well, we know
Jeff's
it's going to be
credit card
grisly.
number is somewhere hidden in the poster.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
It's going to be grisly, and it's about the human condition. So study the poster, think about those keywords, and maybe you'll figure it out. I want to ask you. You got a lot of busy people doing this film, so with all the actors attached and you guys and everything. Like, how did you guys find the time to be able to all work on this project together? Like, was June like the earliest you could get everybody together because of all their prior engagements? Or was that a tough thing to plan for?
I think it was a combination of that, but also giving us enough time to pull all the necessary pieces together so that we could bring the best product. Like the strike thing was still going. I think, yeah, while we were still, in the early stages of pre-production there, where we were having conversations and everything, like the strike was still intact. We didn't know, and that definitely influenced certain decisions. With at least one actor. Not going to mention the name, but like, we just wanted like ample time to prepare and everything. We didn't want to rush anything at all. We really wanted to take our time to bring, forth like the best actors that we could. And it actually gave me a little bit more time to actually rework a little bit of the script. So Elsie, you'll get another copy with a little bit changes in there. Not too much, but definitely was able to tighten it up and add like another dimension into it that I think at this point, I think there's only a couple people that actually read it. And they just like love the additional, thing that I threw in there. But it was more just
we wanted to bring Elsie
great.
back to New England this time in the summer, and not
That's right. And we didn't want to do it in the cold.
I greatly appreciate that, because New England is a beautiful place, but
but every place looks the same when it's cold.
Exactly right.
With snow.
Yeah. And you have to realize I grew up in Alabama. I was born in Alabama.
Geez,
so we do snow like once every 4 years.
Yeah.
So once you're up there and you're out in the snow, and you watch the puddle of water next to you slowly turn into ice as you stand next to it for hours on end, and you go, if that's happening to that water, what's happening inside my body? I have not been near warmth in like 6 hours, but I do like, it's a beautiful place, New England.
Yeah. We love it, but it's not for everybody, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
So
what place is,
that's very
Yeah, that's
true.
what
And
it comes down to.
and it's
we-
also the thing we always take for granted what you see all the time,
yes.
What was that? I think that's a line from Silence of the Lambs, isn't it? What is the thing you covet? You covet the thing you see all the time.
There you go. So, yeah, thanks guys for joining us. But before we go, I just kind of wanted to give you guys each a turn to, well, tell our listeners where to find you. And also, if you have any other projects that you want people to check out, now would be the time, fellas. We'll start with Elsie.
Well, I'm on all those social media. Well, I'm not on all those social medias because I've gotten past the point where I'm too fucking old there. Like I don't know what about tweeting and Xing and all that.
Come on.
I don't even know what you call it anymore. I guess it's Xing now. But it was always boring. So I'm not on that one. But I am on Facebook and I'm on Instagram and it's really me and I'm not, there may be some fake one out there somewhere, but I'm not aware of it. If there is, tell me. But those are the two. And then you can go on IMDb and find out what I'm doing and what's coming up next as an actor. Because pretty much right now I'm just acting. I mean, I'm finishing up Watchdog. So that should be coming out next year, hopefully. But, that directing, as Rich knows, is a long and involved process that takes years and years. So you just sort of.
Well, I was here to learn something. I thought you were going to divulge more stuff.
Oh, you mean about Watchdog?
Yeah, about directing. I was like taking notes.
Oh.
I was waiting.
Oh, yeah.
We'll just talk later. We'll just.
Yeah, because some of those things might be a little incendiary.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, Rich, you can go ahead.
Okay. I'm finished a couple months ago. Bloodfly, a vampire movie with a bunch of teenagers breaking into an abandoned building, and unknowingly there was a caretaker in there taking care of a vampire that now they get locked in because they can't risk them getting out, and they get hunted not only by the caretaker but the vampire as well. So that right now I have one of my producers hitting up international. We decided to go international first and then release it domestically. That's on Instagram at Bloodfly the movie. I primarily am probably on Instagram more so than anything else. So it's at Richard_Diesel, like Vin Diesel, and then underscore my last name, Harlost. If you just go with Richard Diesel, I think it's someone else that hacked me a few years ago and whatever. So primarily on there. The next project that I have is not necessarily a movie. I was approached by another person to actually do kind of like a ghost hunter show with a voodoo priest, like an authentic voodoo priest that I actually lived with for 5 years. So it's going to be very, very interesting to have that extra dimension to it, whereas most people go in there with a psychic or a priest or something like that, to actually go in there with a voodoo priest and have him use his skill set to incite, the entity or whatever is there. Hopefully he gives me a couple necklaces or something to protect myself. I don't want to like induce any possession, but that is something that's been discussed. All parties have agreed. And right now I'm just writing kind of like our bios for the team, and we look to do a pilot for that pretty shortly, like within the next few months.
That sounds awesome.
Thank you.
That's really interesting. The voodoo is very, legitimate voodoo is.
Oh, he's legit, man. I've been there for rituals that he's done. Like I said, he lived with me for 5 years. I've seen many odd, strange things, man.
Well, that's the thing, is like most people only know that religion from the movies, and it is
not that is the flip side of it. Where they because it's more entertaining, you know what I mean? It's more a veneration of the spirits of your ancestors and things like that. It's kind of like that mixed with like a shamanism of a sort, but it's very, very old. I mean, it's older than Christianity and stuff like that. And the voodoo has it's like anything. I mean, like you could take a crucifix, but if you turn it upside down, now you're a Satan, worshiper. So that obviously has its good components and its bad. Right now my buddy's doing a lot of healing work. He's actually been in Africa the last few years, so like we're gonna probably do a Zoom meeting with him for the first episode and then actually fly him back here. But he's doing more traditional medicines and cures and things of that nature right now over there, still venerating the spirits and that are in his lineage and stuff like that. But it's like anything, there's a flip side to anything. So but the movies tend to focus on the darker side for entertainment reasons.
It's very interesting. I did research for a project that never happened about voodoo, and I've always wanted to do something like that because you don't see it represented very well. But it's very interesting from the research I did for a long time. It was very interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jeff, what are you doing?
Yeah, and Jeff, before you say anything, I just want to also say thank you to you because had it not been for you, like putting this episode together, getting these names here, talking about the project, we wouldn't even have. This wouldn't have happened. So I want to say thank you for reaching out to us and getting us involved and helping,
Dave, Brandon, thank you. I mean,
no problem.
It's been a treat, honestly. And I mean, it's just weird how all the algorithms work. Like I said, I mean, really quick, I met Nick 10 years ago and now we're here. I helped LC produce, got on board with Time's Up, and now we're here. It's just, I believe just everything happens for a reason, and I'm just we're here, and I can tell you this right now: we got a good group of people here, and we're gonna make some fucking magic with this one here. And but thank you so much.
Oh shit! Did you already say your Instagram and all that?
No,
stuff?
yeah.
I did not.
Okay. That's why I was throwing it over to
follow you.
I know. Yeah. So I am on Instagram, but I am Jeff Descoteaux 1 because somebody has Jeff Descoteaux. So I'm Jeff Descoteaux 1 on Instagram.
And it's such a unique.
That make them one? Shouldn't you be 2?
Yeah. It's such a unique spelling too that for someone to have that as their name.
I don't even see how that's possible.
I am on X,
but it's like one.
We call it X. I am on X. Just Jeff Descoteaux. There's no other duplicate Jeff Descoteaux. I am you. If you go on X and you find Jeff Descoteaux, I'm the guy. That's me. I am on the Facebook thingy. And let's see. I am going to be working on Tori Jones's next project, The Boy from Below. That Tori Jones obviously directed Phantom Fun World with LC, and heading out there in March down to Kentucky. I can't wait.
It's filmed in Kentucky. Nice.
So, LC, you got any tips for Kentucky?
Kentucky is. Kentucky is interesting because that's right in that middle. It's like, is it southern or is it it's like a good blend. Kentucky isn't like Mississippi, where you're in the South. Kentucky has that sort of blend of the two.
So I'm really this the character I'm playing. It's I don't know how much I can say about it, but I'm going to be doing a little dicing, a little slicing and dicing a little bit.
There you go.
Awesome.
Get my hands dirty.
Very cool.
Something different for a change. So I'm gonna embrace it and give it my best.
There you go. So just to recap, March 1st, we're looking at an Indiegogo or some kind of crowdfunded campaign, right?
Yes.
So around March 1st, people will learn about the perks, how to get involved, all that good stuff. We're really hoping people will check that out. So make sure you guys share that with us so that we can put it out on our social medias as well. Then come June, you guys are going to start filming and we'll go from there. And Brandon and I really hope we can get an invite down to the set while you guys are filming. Would love to check it out and talk.
More than welcome. Absolutely. We'll definitely schedule something in the when that time comes. And
very cool.
Get you guys not a long ride for you guys, I would think.
Not too bad. But you guys all heard that, right? We got the invite. So everybody listening, we're holding them to it. But yeah, awesome. So Deadly Endings, March 1st. Check out the crowdfund, and then they'll be filming. So you guys can. Will you guys have a Deadly Endings like social media page so people can check up on the
We
progress?
do already. Yep.
You already do.
Yeah, how did we not mention that?
I know. I want to get that out.
We all plugged ourselves and not the project at all.
No.
So
Rich, go ahead,
So we do have it on Facebook and Instagram, Deadly Endings movie. And we pretty much like have been releasing, like we've already announced the cast, that's involved in it and stuff, and with some other additional artwork. And as we get, further down the line and film and stuff, we'll be releasing some more.
Awesome.
But if anyone wants to follow it, that's right there. Just if they want to do the Indiegogo, I'm sure we'll be announcing it on there, so they don't have to put it in their phone or something like that. If they forget, just go follow us when you see this, and you'll see the announcement.
Yeah, Facebook, just simply search Deadly Endings movie and we'll pop right up for you. Give us a like, costs you nothing, and you can follow us. And for Instagram, I believe it's deadly_endings_movie.
Yeah, I believe so.
And give us a follow on that, because we're going to be, once March 1st comes, I mean, gloves are off. We're going to fucking hit you in the mouth. That's guaranteed.
Language, Jeff. Language.
You can say whatever you want on
It's a
this.
PG-13 movie, just like the
I'm
ones from
from
the 80s that
fucking
scared the shit out of us.
Come March 1st, we're gonna lay your fucking ass out.
Yeah.
It's funny because
with the threats,
real quick,
threaten our fans.
When for Time's Up, Elsie, he gave me a line or two for the movie, and I remember going over the lines, and I'm like, let's see, should I deliver this in my Massachusetts voice or a Maine voice, or it just was, at the time,
always got to be Mass. Always got to be Mass.
Yeah, Jeff, it like sneaks out every now and then when you're talking. It's like a very every now and then there'll be a word, and I'm like, oh, there it is. I hear it.
It was like a line where it was like, what? You kidding me? You want my kid to go to that school? Not now, not ever.
Not ever.
Ever.
Jeff, man, you need to definitely put together a wrestling horror movie. Get that in the works.
Yeah. So real quick, Nick's one of Nick's buddies that I met 10 years ago, who's a well-known director, Tom DiNucci.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's done some stuff where Tom's is a huge wrestling fan, and Tom and I are good friends, and he makes it a point just about every film that he does, he gets a lot of wrestlers involved. He's got a good connection and a good friendship with a lot of wrestlers. Tommy Dreamer is definitely one. You can catch Tommy Dreamer in a lot of Tom DiNucci's films, and it's I think honestly there's a great connection with wrestling and horror. I mean, you can find a lot of wrestlers in horror films. I was trying to petition Rich to get a few in this project, but
was Robert Mukes, was he a wrestler? He was, wasn't he?
I've
worked with him on two. I worked with him on two movies, and I was like,
got the bill for it,
If this guy wasn't a wrestler, he missed his career opportunity, because that is one of the biggest motherfuckers I've ever seen in my life. I did a movie called Macabre Mountain, and then another movie with Robert Mukes. And Robert, is the guy from House of a Thousand Corpses. He was the brother with the tow truck.
Yeah.
And fuck, that guy's big. I mean, I've met Hulk Hogan. I met Hulk Hogan one time, and that he was huge. But Robert Mukes is like, he's right there. Like, he's right at that. That's a big motherfucker right there.
Yeah. So like when I met Nick 10 years ago, he was filming a movie called Army of the Damned that was filmed in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
And that had Tommy Dreamer, Zelina Vega was in that as well, from WWE. And it's just there's an amazing just connection with wrestlers in horror films. So
I love that you're throwing out so many like New England references here too. Tom DiNucci, another Rhode Island native right there. So I mean, it's cool for us to kind of see all the representations of horror in our small well, our small state and our area over here too. So thank you guys for keeping
100%.
that up too.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So yeah, everybody check out everything that was just mentioned. Follow the Deadly Endings pages for all the updates. And yeah, hopefully we'll be in touch with everybody here and get some updates as well for all you guys. So thanks again, and everybody have a good night.
Thanks, guys, for having us.
Thanks.
No problem, man.